How's it going? And welcome to 4MR Ranch. Now, if you notice anything weird about this, it's probably because you're seeing what appears to be what's now more common to be a legal pistol than a rifle, rocking a vertical foregrip. Well, that is because I decided to ditch the pistol brace and register this as a short-barreled rifle. So, for those that don't know, anytime you have a firearm that is shoulderable, like this, with less than a 16-inch barrel, it could potentially be considered a short-barreled rifle. Now, nowadays, it seems like the ATF doesn't really know how to classify that, and they have some new proposed rulings about these pistol braces that are going to make it really confusing and honestly a pain in the ass for us law-abiding citizens to enjoy firearms of this form factor. Now, me being a content creator and posting what I do at the gun range online on places like where you're seeing this video, I do have to be careful to follow the law of the land. So I totally get where you're coming from, and I acknowledge it. If you're like, this guy is asking for permission to enjoy his rights, look, what you do behind closed doors is your permission. Good luck to you. That being said, the current law is that if I want to do certain things with this firearm, I have to register it as a short-barreled rifle, and that's what I've elected to do. Now, what this video is going to cover real quick is how simple that was for me as a first-time individual trying to file for a Form 1 tax stamp. So for those that don't know, a Form 1 tax stamp to the ATF covers your intent to make or manufacture NFA items. So you could either be manufacturing a silencer or making an SBR. Now, I use those two different terms because I didn't manufacture this gun. CZ did. But I made it, I'm the maker of this, into a short-barreled rifle. And it was easy enough that I got this approved in only 19 days. Now, if you're used to Form 4s, which is where you're buying something that has been completely manufactured as a silencer, a short-barreled shotgun, or a short-barreled rifle, you could wait upwards of a year, sometimes even more if you're really one of the unlucky ones. So when I got this back in 19 days, I was like a kid on Christmas morning. It was so easy that I also elected to go ahead and register this one as well, ditch the brace that you're probably a lot more used to seeing, especially on the internet and Instagram, all those tactical boys shooting their pistols. Not going to get into that debate on what makes a pistol and a rifle. Nonetheless, I've chosen to register both of these, and this one came back in only 20 days, which I was equally excited about. Now, after you file your paperwork, and there's a couple different routes depending on if you want to file as an individual or through a trust. Obviously, if you already have a trust in place, then it's going to be a very smooth process for you to go ahead and file Form 1s. And at the time of filming this video, Form 1s are getting approved in less than a month typically, unless again, you're one of the outliers and one of the unlucky ones, it might be longer than that. So that's going to cover if you want to make your own silencer, if you want to make your short-barrel rifle, short-barrel shotgun, etc. Unfortunately, unless you have special licensing, you can't make machine guns, even though that is another NFA item. That is still a no-no, unfortunately. So now, without making this a step-by-step how-to video, I want to just briefly cover these steps. Now, disclosure right here, I am not giving you legal advice. I'm not claiming, correct guidance on how to do this with the basics that I'm covering. I highly recommend you look up how to do this for yourself. And there's a huge number of videos out there that cover this in extensive detail, even walking you through how to fill out the forms correctly. So the first step you're going to do is go to the ATF website, which I will give you a heads up is the worst website I have ever come across. If the government has been taking budget cuts, it's definitely related to the ATF website. It is terrible. It freezes, it crashes, and it completely does not function on Wednesdays. For whatever reason, the Alphabet Boys want to take Wednesdays off and do hood rat shit with their friends. I don't know. Now, at the end of when you're filing the forms online, that's when you're going to be prompted to hand over Uncle Sam two of those nice Benjamins and pay your $200 tax stamp per item that you want to register. And then after that, you have a 10-day window where you then have to send in 2 sets of fingerprints per item you want to register. Now, it's my understanding one set stays with the ATF, the other set gets forwarded to the FBI. They do whatever they do with things, and they move on from there. Now, currently, the time frame is that within 30 days, you should hopefully receive an approval back, unless you're a total weirdo or been doing shit you probably shouldn't have been doing or publicizing, and you'll get your approval back. You'll be almost good to go. There's 2 more things you got to do before you can officially ditch these piece of crap pistol braces. One is that you have to get your proper NFA markings engraved into the firearm, following the regulations in terms of the depth that the engravings have to be and the size of the font, etc. Me personally, I had them both laser engraved. It was easy enough to do. Now, unfortunately, in most cases from the quotes I got, it's going to be in the ballpark of $50 a pop per NFA item you have professionally laser engraved. That being said, it's going to be cleaner. They typically know what they're doing in terms of what the ATF requires in terms of font size and depth. So all that added pressure is taken off you if you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of money for saved time. Now, after that, you also have to send a letter to your chief law enforcement officer of the jurisdiction where you have registered these or made these firearms. So that is the last step. To my understanding, the chief law enforcement officer is going to see it. They're going to look at it, throw it in the trash, not do anything with it. I've even heard of several people getting theirs returned back to them. Nonetheless, my understanding, after you send it, you have fulfilled your obligation and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So if you're someone going through that process, that's the section of the paperwork at the end of the ATF your ATF documents that say Clio copy at the bottom that will automatically be duplicated as you're filling it out digitally. You'll be good to go. You can send those off once you get your stamp approved. Now, I know some people sign it at the beginning, and good on you if that's the way you want to go. Again, I advise you to do your own homework, but to me, logically, you should only notify, or it only makes sense to notify your Clio once you have approval back that, hey, I'm making this, it's been approved, and we're going through with it. After all that, which seems like a lot, but again, this all happened within less than a 3-week window for me. I was able to finally put on a stock onto these firearms and then throw the vertical foregrip ergonomically on a short barrel. For me, it just makes more sense, so that's what I opted for. To each their own. But wanted to just bring some basic attention on how short the time frame is, and once you get the hang of it, you kind of break the ice. Just get it done the first time. Take the effort to watch some videos, learn how to fill the paperwork. It really is a lot less painful than what I was expecting. I kind of hate myself for waiting as long as I did because I thought it was going to be just a total pain in the ass, and it just wasn't. And the biggest motivation again for me in doing this is I was just tired of all the back and forth political drama, deciding if one day I can't shoot these guns legally, especially being a YouTuber, throwing things on camera. I just didn't want to be up against that wall. I want to get to enjoy these firearms until the day potentially that politicians say even these are not allowed, which is not a day I want to see in America. But nonetheless, guys, that's about all I have for you. If you have some basic questions, leave them in the comments below. Again, I'm not here to give legal advice. Please do your own homework. And, like I said, I get that it's an unfortunate situation that you have to go through these loopholes to enjoy your Second Amendment rights, but we all have our reasons for doing what we do. I respect your reasons for making the choices you do, and just keep in mind my situation. Recording what I do and throwing it online kind of forces you a certain direction sometimes. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and as always, guys, have a good one.